Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Hunt Fish Ride. Come and join me on the farm this afternoon. The deer and pheasant habitat needs a little bit of maintenance, so let's get to it. If you enjoy watching a guy sweat while he gets eaten up by mosquitoes, you're in the right place. I hope you enjoy the video. some pretty thick thistles to grade. I should have gotten them earlier since they're already flowered. You can see all these here are flowered, and all these over here. So this is kind of like the trail that I like to keep open and walkable. I use it. The deer, pheasants use it. This area down here, I try not to really ever go in there. I used to have trail cams and a feeder down there. Well, I've still got a feeder there. The raccoons, having a feeder down there in the creek bottom, the raccoons always just demolished it. They would wreck it. They would eat every bit of corn. I couldn't keep them out of it. No matter how many I trapped or hunted, the raccoons were just absolutely miserably thick down there. Now that I have the trail cam up closer to the house, over in that area by the yard, not near as many raccoons come in there. It lets me see, what deer are still on the property without having to dump 50 pounds of corn every week. So I'll just go a little ways in here. Like I said, I don't really like coming in here. I like the wildlife to know. Sounds like the neighbor's ripping it up on a dirt bike. I like the wildlife to know that there's an area that they can go, that they don't, encounter humans. They can get away from them. The creek flows all the way down through here. There's a lot of buckbrush, cedars, just a lot of good pasture grass. And over here in the cedars and pines, the deer love kind of being in there. It's on a hillside. No one ever goes in there. So this is the walking path that I like to kind of keep open. I was pretty slack in doing so this spring, so it's overgrown. Normally it's really short weeds or grass and packed down dirt, because I've driven over it hundreds of times with the tractor and the grader. So as I mentioned in a previous video, all of this behind me was part of a field, and I wanted it for the wildlife and for a windbreak. This has always been pasture land that doesn't get used anymore. It's gone back to the wild. It's probably, 3 or 4 acres. Well, actually probably closer to 5 acres of just grass, cedars, and brush. It's got the creek on one side and the ag land on the other side. Those trees are the edge of the other wildlife area. So basically the yard has maybe 25% of it is connected to ag land, and the rest is all wildlife. You can see my feeder down there. It's blue barrel, and brown. Brown is sheet metal. I put up all kinds of weird contraptions to try to keep the raccoons from being able to get to the corn, and nothing I would do could keep them out of it. I even cut like shark's teeth in the sheet metal that surrounded where the corn would come out of the barrel. So the raccoons had to crawl up and over like shark teeth because they were very sharp, jagged cuts in the sheet metal. But they would climb up it, whether they'd get snagged on it, cut themselves, they didn't care. The first week after going down and looking at the feeder after I implemented this raccoon proofing, I had videos of them climbing up it, and they didn't care. If there was free corn, they'd go through hell to get it. So this is the path to where I keep my trail cam now and put out some corn on occasion. Still get some raccoons, but not near as many. As you can see, it's kind of right on the edge of the yard. This is lawn and then pine trees and whatnot from there. Sorry, these skeeters are horrible. You see we got tons of little trees growing up in here. I cannot wait for them to get bigger. Hope you like the tour. Wildlife management areas. You got to stick a little bit of time into them. The rewards are great. We've got, before I started this area and the one down the hill, I think there was generally maybe three deer that I would see often on the property. And the bucks were all transient bucks. So this has helped a lot. Now generally, at night if I get out my thermal scope and look in the wildlife area south of the house, summer, fall, I can generally see anywhere from 1 to 5 deer bedded out there. And I know there's also deer bedded in these spruce and pines back here. On occasion, maybe out here, but I don't think so. They're usually just pheasants out here. Let's go on a little trip to check and see how the trees are doing in the wildlife area down to the south. Guy, this little spruce right there. The bottoms are, you can see the green down at the bottom, so it's still alive, but he was doing well. And then last fall, since that was really the only tree in the area, a buck just shredded the heck out of it. Pretty much killed it. Alright, the mosquitoes are going to be horrid. Yep, they are on me. Twiddles. Mosquitoes. Right now, I don't know what, if anything, is in here. Last month, just like everywhere else in the world, we had a flood come through, and this part of the creek is the only part that really holds fish, and the water was up almost. Well, you can see the water, the white water line on the bridge over there. And it was flowing through the property way out of the normal bounds of the creek. So, what fish were in here? Some bass and northern, maybe long gone. Alright, I'm getting bit up too much by mosquitoes. I was hoping I could find something here real quick. For ya. But these mosquitoes are crazy. Stir up another 1,000 mosquitoes. That's sit you guys back up. A four-wheeler takes you for the ride back. Mosquitoes this year are insane. For the same reason, there's no fish out here. All the flooding.